The Congress won the Mandya seat after wrestling with the JDS, but infighting could land the former body a blow unless infighting is resolved. As of now, all is well in Mandya Congress, but will it remain the same till the polling date? Well, we will have to wait and watch. A News9 report.
Another convict on death row has escaped the gallows, all thanks to the Supreme Court's ruling today. Take a look.
The Delhi bomb blast in 1993 had shocked the country. 9 people died and 25 were injured. In 2001, Bhullar was convicted for the crime and sentenced to death by hanging. Today, the Supreme Court commuted his death sentence to life imprisonment. A 4-judge bench headed by Chief Justice P. Sathasivam opined that there was a delay on the part of the government in deciding his mercy plea. The bench, also comprising Justices R.M. Lodha, H.L. Dattu and S.J. Mukhopadhyay, passed the order on a curative petition filed by Bhullar's wife Navneet Kaur. The centre had earlier told the court that it had no problem with commutation of Bhullar's death sentence to a life term. The bench had earlier stayed Bhullar's execution and had agreed to review its judgment. The court had also directed the Institute of Human Behaviour and Allied Sciences to file a medical report on Bhullar's condition, who is said to be suffering from mental illness. Bhullar had filed a mercy petition before the President on January 14, 2003. This plea was dismissed after over 8 years on May 14, 2011. Citing the delay, he had again moved the Apex Court for commutation of the death sentence, but his plea was rejected. On January 21st this year, the Apex Court held that an inordinate delay by the government in deciding mercy plea of death row convicts can be a ground for commuting their sentence. Through this, the court had granted life to Veerappan's aides as well. A News9 report.
The future looks bleak for former Pakistan President Pervez Musharraf. This after a special court in Pakistan levelled a serious charge against him.
Life sentence or death penalty for Musharraf? This was the question doing the rounds after the former Pakistan president was charged with high treason in a special court. This crime carries either a life sentence or the death penalty. The 5 charges against Musharraf were 3 counts of suspending, changing and subverting the country's constitution, sacking Pakistan's Chief Justice and imposing emergency rule. The former president denied the charges that he was a traitor and said that Pakistan prospered and grew under his tenure. I am being called a traitor. I have been Chief of Army Staff for 9 years and I have served this army for 45 years. I have fought 2 wars and it is treason? Is this the way to reward someone for being loyal to the country and for loving the country? Musharraf went into self-imposed exile in 2008. He first flew to London and then to Dubai. It is believed that he returned to Pakistan with an intention to contest the elections. His hopes were dashed as he became entangled in a web of court cases relating to his time in power. The man who came back to his homeland in hope of being a leader could now go to the gallows or spend the rest of his life in prison. A News9 report.
Even as a hunt for floating objects in the southern Indian Ocean continues, a new twist has emerged. Take a look at what Malaysian Transport Minister Hishamuddin Hussain had to say today.
Was MH370's debris recovered from Indian Ocean? Apparently not, according to the Malaysian government. A lot of suspense and speculation surrounded the recovery operation last week. Today, they were laid to rest by Malaysian Transport Minister Hishamuddin Hussain. He said that the objects recovered were not from the Malaysia Airlines flight MH370. The Transport Minister further added that the stretch would continue and hoped that the mystery would be decoded. Australia will continue to search.
I'm certainly not putting a time limit on it. I think, as I said, we owe it to the families. We owe it to everyone who travels by air. We owe it to the governments of the countries who had citizens on that aircraft. We owe it to the wider world, which has been transfixed by this mystery for 3 weeks now. We owe it to everyone to do whatever we reasonably can, and we can keep searching for quite some time to come.
It's not just about Tony Abbott, who is not willing to give up the search operation. Japan, China, Korea, New Zealand and America have pledged to continue searching for the debris of the missing flight. According to the officials involved in the search operations, the search has intensified from last week. Many aircrafts and vessels have been deployed to find the missing airliner. Ten aircrafts have been deployed so far. 2 Malaysian C-130J, 1 Chinese Illusion IL-76, Japanese Coast Guard G-5, Australian P-3 Orion, New Zealand's P-3 Orion and civilian aircraft, American P-8 Poseidon and Korean P-3 Orion. Apart from the aircraft, 10 vessels have also been deployed. With the statement from the Malaysian Transport Minister, a new doubt arises now. Did MH370 crash in southern Indian Ocean? A News9 report.